U.S. Women's National Team head coach Emma Hayes speaking with us. Hey, Coach, welcome in. In a couple days, you have a great camp with so many players that are competing for Seattle and for Angel City tonight. What do you want to see from them in this match?
Well, first of all, I know it's early in the season, so I hope to see from individuals the progression they've made since they were last in camp last February, and I'm sure physically they'll be a higher level. But I'm looking forward to seeing on both teams some of our less experienced players, some players that will be in the under-23 pool, and players, of course, that will be with WNT, and just see where they are in their progress in relation to the way that their teams want them to play.
Emma, one of the things that I've really been interested about what you're talking about is building this greater pool of players with the 23s and with the senior national team. What are the indications to you that tell you a player from that 23s group is actually ready to make the jump to the senior level?
That's a really good question, and one that I think will become easier, especially over the next 3 camps, because I want to get to the end of June where I have a really strong sense of a core group of players that will form part of the build towards the World Cup, but also know that we need to get some consistency in relationships, connections on the pitch, and we have to forego that for now while we're still evaluating players on an individual level. And then I think within the under-23 pool, players that we feel they're just not ready for now, but they could be ready for the World Cup, that in the 23s we give them opportunities to progress without the lenses on them and the expectations being through the roof. And from there, those performances coupled with their club performances will give us an indicator of which ones from that pool are ready to progress up to us. And we're putting in a really strong middle that has been so absent from the game here, particularly in, with the under-23s program going away for a period of time.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Let's put the microscope now on the senior team. I know last night you talked to Ion about the goalkeeping situation, but when you're looking at the rest of the squad, what other positions are you looking to grow some depth within that team?
Well, I think it's fair to say in both fullback positions, we will be looking at depth in those areas. I think arguably with Naomi Germer not being available, it's allowed us to look at a couple of other players centrally. So I feel in centre-back position we've got a real sense of the depth there. Midfield, we're really young. We know that with Johannes at 17, Hutton at 19, Albert at 21. But we want to invest our time in their development. We've got Jaden at 20. We've even got Olivia Moultrie, who will be outside of that group as well. And we've got a lot of young players, but the reality is that I took over a program that had a lot of players with a lot of top-end caps and a lot of players that were below 15, 10 caps. So we have to build that experience in this period to make sure that we just have more depth with those exposures at both the 23 age group and WNT.
You just rattled off a number of players that are really young. You also mentioned in speaking with Darian and Ion last night that you are going to be really demanding in this camp with the senior national team. What does that look like?
Well, I think one of the things that will go on this week is those reminders of what those standards are in a WNT shirt, that whenever we put the crest on, that there's some absolute non-negotiables, no matter the scoreline. And some of those things can be as simple as get into your position early. Make sure you know your jobs, both sides of the balls, restarts. And I'm really going to hone in on the attention to detail to make sure that if someone has a central area free kick, if a ball's parried onto the bar and you're in the second phase or you're in the third phase, that you know what your responsibilities are. And so I'm going to take it up a notch to make sure we take the learnings from the Japan game and then we leave behind what we don't want to progress us to a matchup where, quite frankly, it's going to be a game of duels, a game of restarts. And so we absolutely have to make sure that physically we are at a level to compete with Brazil and make sure on our home turf that we that we deliver the expectations that I set for the team.
Coach, it sounds exciting and energetic. We're all eager to watch it. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck in camp.
Thank you.